AFCON qualifiers. Everyone was expecting that probably by now the game would have been going on, or maybe at least it would have been the second half of the game. But what CAF have said, I think, is sensible. But I think they're being a bit too safe for my liking. It's sensible on the one hand because the absolute stupid thing would have been, or silly thing would have been, to go on with the game, or sort of walked over Nigeria, because I saw some pictures and some photos that the Libyan team were on the pitch, they were willing to play, and then you had some officials. I don't know if those were actually the properly rightly assigned referees and match officials, but saw some of those on the pitch as well. So right decision so far, or a sensible decision in my opinion, and saying the matter will be moved to the right authorities. I think this came from CAF media team, the CAF's media team, to they were to put out on social media saying information that the matter will be moved on to the appropriate authorities. Now, for me, why I say it's sensible, but it's a bit cowardly, because you can already see, you can already see what the Libyan delegation, what the Libyan airport authorities or whatever, what they did to the Super Eagles. It was clear, you could see it. So it's not something you have to super investigate. You want to have another body investigating issues that have gone down, but it's quite clear. It's quite clear. One thing I'm hoping is this is mainly or purely rubber stamp. Purely rubber stamp. I wouldn't, let's not say rubber stamp, but purely what I call it, say generic. There's a word I'm looking for, but let's just say to fulfill all righteousness and say, okay, we're going to investigate this, but they actually know what has gone on and we'll deal with this. Now, if you are not too aware of what has happened, Nigeria played Libya, the first leg of the AFCON qualifiers, Morocco 2025 qualifiers, defeated Libya, a hard-fought game. The Libyan national team came up with all sorts of ploys, time wasting, rolling on the floor at the slightest of touches, and just trying to kill time, basically. And then Nigeria managed to win the game via Tom Dele Bashiru, by Dele Bashiru. He's got the goal at about 5 or 6 minutes to go, and it was curtains from then on. Nigeria got the 3 points, and then because it was meant to be a double header. Then the team headed to Libya. They were meant to first go to Benghazi airport, but they were redirected to the Al-Quab airport. And the airport, for whatever reason, seemed to be an abandoned airport, whatever. But they got there, the airport was locked. They were not allowed to go in. They were not allowed to leave the airport. They were there for 15 hours plus. 15 hours plus. And delayed, wasted their time and all that. And what the Libyan Federation could come out to say, the usual statement, official statement you put out there when you don't really, mean what you're saying, or when you don't really mean the apology you're trying to tender. The Libyan FA or Football Federation were on about, this apology for the inconvenience that must have been caused to the Super Eagles. This was not done intentionally, but then went on to mention some perceived wrong done by the Nigerian Super Eagles or by the Nigerian Football Federation. But how come you got to play the game on time? And you could see the kind of bus or transportation that was provided for the Libyan side. You could see it. I know some Nigerians stand up, as some would always do, to support the Libyan side, saying, "Oh, the NFF must have done this, so the Super Eagles deserve what they did to them." But you could see that was not the issue. That was not the case. And then kept them in the airport. Okay, it's understandable. Okay, maybe you do whatever nonsense you want to do. 1, 2 hours, delay them a bit. 3 hours, delay them a bit. But for whole 15 hours. And this was going on all on social media. And CAF didn't say a word. CAF officials didn't say a word. So for me, it was an absolute joke by CAF. Absolute joke. Absolute joke by CAF, in my opinion. And then for the Libyans, what do you think you're going to achieve? What do you think you're going to achieve? Because it's right there. Everyone's seeing it. It's all over the news, all over social media. So what were you going to achieve by having these players, locked up? Because one thing is in full view, and you're not going to get away with it. You're going to lose points. Because who knows? You play against Nigeria. Nigeria is a better side. Who knows? Nigeria had to rely on on a goal scored in the dying embers of the game for the first leg. So who knows? You could have drawn this game, but you decided to go into the full dark arts. This is beyond dark arts, in my opinion. Dark arts is what they did in the first leg, falling on the ground, rolling, killing time, and all that. But this one, not dark arts whatsoever. This is just sheer wickedness and sheer silliness, in my opinion. And for me, I think CAF and other football administrators, they don't understand the importance of certain things like this to the brand of African football. Because all the AFCON games have been going on, there was no huge spotlight like this by the international media. But when this didn't happen, you saw what was going wrong happened. Everyone wanted to interview people from channels to know what's going on and then feeling concerned. So it affects your brand, it affects your ability to attract sponsors, which then in turn your ability to raise funds, to make money, the money you want to make, because all these football associations, they're more concerned about money than any other thing. So CAF, for me, CAF is an absolute joke. And for the Libyan team administrators, this is an absolute disgrace. Disgraceful, showing by Libya. Disgraceful, utterly disgraceful. And I want to say this. If you're a Nigerian and you're one of those ones that would like to, attack the country at every turn, we know there are things that are not perfect with the country. We know. But if at every turn you want to attack the country, and this is one of those times you've chosen to attack the country, NFF must have done something, you just have to be ashamed of yourself, in my opinion. You have to be ashamed of yourself, because this was very disgraceful and even life-threatening. Can you imagine having people, locked up, no food, no water for about 15 hours? What if anyone had some allergy? What if anyone, had a, aggressive ulcer? What would have happened? What would have happened? So for me, this is disgraceful showing by the Libyan authorities, in my opinion. And maybe the game will be replayed, and hopefully it will be on the neutral ground. Definitely not in Libya. Definitely not in Libya. It'll be on the neutral ground. Maybe it's fine somewhere like Cameroon or Morocco or somewhere else in neutral ground to play the game, in my opinion. So I want to know what your thoughts are on this whole thing. Let me know in the comment section below. Whilst I go on, tomorrow I'll be having an episode of Next Gen Naija. We're talking about 3 magical talents that I think can contribute to the future of Nigerian football going forward. I think they can really contribute to the future of Nigerian football going forward, and I'll keep talking about it because I think there's a lot to do, and I think Nigerian football can do with refreshing new talents, new faces, not to discard the old ones, but even have fresh faces. Now, for me, let's listen to what the pilot, of the flight that took Nigeria to Libya had to say, because a lot of people have come up with different thoughts, different opinions, and different sayings. So let's see what he had to say.
We make it safely, and we landed safe in the other airport.
In the event that your company is asked to provide,
let's go.
The flight plan was to land as destination Benghazi, Benina, but unfortunately, and we got the approval from the Libyan Civil Aviation Authority that we are approved to land in Benghazi, but unfortunately, when we start descent, they asked us to divert to Labreg, which is at almost 150.
So you see, the plan was we fly from Nigeria, go to head to Benghazi airport, and the approval was given. They were given all clear, but as they were set to land, then they got the different sort of information from the Libyan authorities. So let's go. Let's keep listening.
Miles, that means 300 kilometers around more far, but it's at the east. So it wasn't our even our alternate. Something which is not good because in aviation we have our flight plan, we calculate the fuel to our destination, so we have to avoid this kind of thing because it may make a breach to safety. And when I insist to land in Benghazi according to my flight plan and according to.
Now, to tell you how serious this is, he said, and it's true, in aviation, when you fly in a plane, you have your flight plan, you calculate the number of hours you expected, calculate how long it will take you from the airport you're leaving to the airport you're going to land, approximately. And then you also, the fuel you have on board would also be tied to that. So any unnecessary deviation or excessive deviation from your flight course can put you in real peril. We've had situations where airplanes have gone out of fuel and resulted into something fatal. And we're thankful and we thank God that this didn't get to this situation. It didn't get to that in this case.
My authorization, they said no. It's from the highest authority. You have to land in Labrag al-Baida. So
the Libyans are saying that it was your discretion to land in
no.
You see, so it came from the highest authority. That is, it came from order from above. So this could mean anybody. It could mean the Libyan Sports Ministry or Sports Minister. It could be from the Libyan Football Federation, but higher up. It came from the higher ups. I know we've had different reports, like the reporter was asking him, or rather telling him that the Libyan said it was his discretion to go to this airport. But he said, no, that cannot be the plan. That couldn't have been the plan. It's impossible.
No. Everything is to divert immediately to Labrag. Thank God we make it safely and we landed safe in the other airport.
In the event that your company is asked to provide evidence, will you be able to avail?
Yes. All the evidences are in all is documented in aviation, and a lot of redundancy in aviation, so they cannot hide this information or say other than the truth. The truth was we was going to Benghazi, and I can show you also the evidence of the approval. I have it.
Captain, don't worry.
Yes. So after that, they changed their mind, and at the last minute, they changed the airport. Even the airport was not. It's like a domestic airport. It's not well equipped. There is no ILS, no air nav approach, no VUR. So we make it visually to be able to land, because in case of go around, we cannot go anywhere. So it was our first and last chance.
And I heard that you've been in that area before. Was that problem?
Yes. Thank God I worked there for 2 years with.
Yeah. So you can see the situation of things. You can see the situation of things. You can see, what the Libyan authorities, the length they went to. And this is a Tunisian pilot. He's not Nigerian. So you can say, oh, this is a Nigerian, is trying to cover up facts, he's trying to protect the interests of Nigeria. No, he's a Nigerian. He is a Tunisian. He works for ValueJet. That's a private company. So there's no issue of him trying to cover up anything. And as well, like I said, you have your flight plan, you stick to it. You plan the fuel you'd use, everything. You plan that, so any deviation can be fatal. And for CAF to have kept quiet while it was going on for 15 hours, 15 hours. That's a quarter of a day. 15 hours, and CAF sat by, not saying anything. Now, the advice I would have given to the Nigerian Football Association Federation and the Nigerian Sports Ministry would have been this. Instantly, I would file an action against the Libyan Federation at, the Court of Arbitration for Sports. I would have. But at least have, like we say, half bread is better than none. CAF sort of has suspended the game, so it's not going to take place. The Nigerian Super Eagles are not going to be overworked. In Libya are not going to be awarded three points and 3 goals. So probably the game may be replayed at a neutral venue. Or if the right thing is to be done based on all the evidence that you can see with your eyes, then Libya should be banned, or at least the 3 points and 3 goals awarded to Nigeria. Because this is not those 1980s when very few people had access to technology, and it was basically hearsay, or we say they say. You can see it. It was all over social media. It was all over the media. And I keep saying this: Confederation of African Football, you don't understand what goes on in football. The European media are not looking to prop you up. The European media are not looking to say your competition is the best. And it's not their responsibility as well. And people are looking for, when things go wrong, they can say, oh yeah, look at Africans. Yeah, look at how they run themselves. And that's what's happening. So you should take charge and make sure this sort of things do not happen. You should make sure it do not happen, especially for this long. For me, Libyan FA should be punished. Their sports ministry or their national team should be banned, because this is pure wickedness, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on the game, and that's my thoughts on everything else. And I'm thankful that the players got home safe. They got back to Nigeria safely, and no issues. And there's something that William Chus-Ekong, the captain of the Nigerian Super Eagles, said. It's very true. He said, even if they open the gates, I'm paraphrasing now, so even if they open the gates and let the team through, who knows the kind of food they're going to give them? You know what they're going to offer them? You know what's going to happen to their safety? You know what's going to happen when they're purportedly escorted to the match venue or their hotel residence? So the best thing, they went home. But for me, one thing I'm happy and proud about Nigerians is sometimes when things go wrong, when things go bad, we still find a way to create joy from it, to smile about, to laugh about, to sing about it. So there's this clip I saw, and it really, really made me laugh, and it really made me happy, because it's easy, to be locked up. When you're locked up is in a particular place for about how many hours? Like I said, for a quarter of a day plus, to have your spirits dampened. But the lads, the Nigerian Super Eagles, players, Nigerian Super Eagles, found a way to derive some joy from the whole thing.
Hey man, hey.
Take a seat. So for me, good spirit, and they've arrived in Nigeria. Probably very soon various clubs in Europe. So for me, that's a good one, in the sense that we're at least safe. No one was injured. There was no fatality. There was no sort of physical altercation. Everyone's got home and arrived safely, and probably heading back to their various jobs. So what are your thoughts on this whole thing, this whole saga? I know some people are saying, no, Nigerian Super Eagles just didn't play the game. For me, no. Some people would have tried to blame the NFF for this. I say, for this one, no. If you've watched this video, if you've watched this channel, if you subscribe to this channel and you watch my various videos and watch various episodes, like the previous one, the Naija football show, you would know that I do not celebrate the NFF. I do not give them big ups, because I think there are things they could do to improve the team, to make the team better. But you see, in this particular circumstance, the NFF, the Nigerian Football Federation, has done nothing wrong. The Nigerian Sports Ministry has done nothing wrong. And in my opinion, the Nigerian players have done nothing wrong as well. And the only people who have done wrong, the Libyan Football Federation, with their condescending and silly message, the Libyan Sports Ministry, and other Libyan football administrators, because this was inhumane, in my opinion, what they tried to do. This is beyond dark arts. This is beyond mind games, or trying to have some gamesmanship, where you sort of get into the head of the player, of your position player psychologically. This is not one of those. This was dangerous. Now we can smile about it a bit because the players got home safely, primarily, and then CAF has come to say the game is not going to be played. So for me, at least we can smile about those two things. But all in all, like I said, the players have done nothing. And so at this point, I say subscribe to the channel, click notification bell so you're notified each time I go live on the channel, and be sure to come back to the channel tomorrow because there'll be Next Gen Naija, an episode of Next Gen Naija. And for me, Next Gen Naija is a show where we highlight and spotlight the next talents coming up and are eligible to play for Nigeria, to represent Nigerian Super Eagles. Because for me, I believe that your team is as good as its talent pool. The depth of a national team's talent pool is the strength of the national team. Look at Brazil, look at Argentina. They have players coming out of the woodwork every day, every second it seems. And Nigeria has the same sort of players, from your George Lenikena to your Tyreek George to your Rio Ngoma. You have these players everywhere. You don't want to talk about it domestically in Nigeria, like Arehi Parabo. You have them there. You have people like Onyebuchi, Obasi, talented players all over. And this Next Gen Naija, this show is intended to spotlight these players. Because like I said, the English media would not do it. And I'm not saying they should, but they will not do it. The Spanish media would not do it. European media will not do it. The American media wouldn't do it. Other content creators on YouTube wouldn't do it. And I'm not saying they should. But for me, I feel it's my responsibility to create spotlight around Nigerian players, both the ones at the grassroots level and the ones playing in Europe. As long as they're eligible to play for Nigeria, I would always be talking about them. And so while I'm talking about this, I want to say something about players representing Nigeria, especially those who have dual nationality. For me, it's a layered discussion. The first layer is, as a football federation, as a football association, you should do your utmost. You should do your utmost to get the best players available to play for you, whether they are grassroots players, home-based players, or they're players that play abroad, or they're players who have dual nationalities. You should do your best to get them to play for you. That's the first one. And secondly, this pride thing of, we won't beg anybody. Oh, no, stop that. That is so wrong. Look at what France are trying to do with George Lenikena. France has Mbappe, they have Nkunku, they have Kingsley Coman, they have Griezmann. So why do they need another striker? No, then they'll just want to deepen their talent pool. So that's why they want to go for George Lenikena. And I feel Nigeria should do the same thing and go for him. Deepen your talent pool. And then there's the third layer, which is, as a player who has Nigerian heritage, maybe your father is Nigerian or your mother is Nigerian or both of them are Nigerians, be careful when you make that choice. Because one thing I've come to understand is that sometimes these young players, people get into their brains, get into their head and tell them, if you play for Nigeria, you're downgrading. If you play for Nigeria, you're not going to achieve anything. If you play for Nigeria, your profile is not going to be high anymore. But be very mindful, because sometimes you may play for that country, get cap tied. I think that's about 4 or 5 games, And then when you play those games, all of a sudden you're out. You're out of it. Tomori, Fikayo Tomori, as an example, he's playing well in AC Milan, playing very well, but he can't make the English national team. Rather, a player like Harry Maguire is picked before him. I don't know the reasons why. I'm not going to infer any reason, but I tell you, if he chose to play for Nigeria, he would have been playing still. Tammy Abraham, when he was in form for Chelsea, played for Nigeria, he opted to play for England. No problem. That's fine. Now, he can't get anywhere near any international team. Karim Adeyemi, I think there's still a slight opportunity he can play for Nigeria, but he played for Germany. What's happened? Now he's finding it difficult getting, rather, he's now playing in your under 21s. And we have another Nigerian again in Germany that is making the same mistake, in my opinion, Kevin Shada. It's funny for me because his dad is Nigerian. So why is he answering a German surname? That's left for his family to decide. Maybe decide to take his mom's son name or something. Maybe. He's making the same mistake again. I think he played for Germany yesterday in the international fixtures yesterday against Holland. He's played. What happens? After a couple of games, you'll be dropped. For me, there is a layered discussion. First off, you make the approach to these players. You speak to these players. You try to convince them to play for you. You try to sell your project to them to play for you. You don't just say, no, they don't want to play for us. Or they look. It's just like if you want to get married, you see a beautiful lady you want to talk to, you want to get married to. And then there are other men as well that are looking to ask that lady out, want to win her hand. You don't just say, oh, okay, you do your best to convince her to be with you, that you're the right person. And finally, before I end for the day, I want to say this. The way you would convince a player as Nigeria to play for you is different from the way a Germany or an England would convince that player to play for them. It's the same way, the way a Man City would convince a player to sign for them is different from the way, let's say, an Ipswich Town or a Newcastle United would convince a player to sign for them. Now, whether you hate it or love it, or you dislike it, or you don't like me for saying it, but it's the truth right now. In the profile of teams, in the world profile, world view, teams like England, Germany, Spain are viewed to have a higher profile than teams like Nigeria, teams like Ghana, teams like South Africa. It's just the truth. I don't like it. I don't like it, but that's the truth. Even in some cases, the US, how in the world is the United States of America above Nigeria as a national team? It's just madness. Who do they play? Panama. Who do they play? Costa Rica. Nigeria plays Ivory Coast. Nigeria plays Ghana. And I tell you, Ivory Coast would destroy every team in CONCACAF. Every team in CONCACAF, Ivory Coast would destroy. Smash them, for sure. But for whatever reason, the US national team is ranked higher than Nigeria. Why? So when you go to convince these players, you have to offer them first team football, Super Eagles football. Now, I'm not saying they must play 90 minutes or they must play 45 minutes. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and you get them on board. Because I have been fortunate enough to have interaction with some players. And they're always eager. They want to play for the Super Eagles. They want to play for the Super Eagles. You may say, oh, these players are not worthy to play for Super Eagles. They're still 18 years old. They're still 19 years old. But that's the truth. That's the way you get them. You get them, they play 10 minutes, and before you know, they're cap tied, they're committed to playing for you. That's the way you do it. I'm not saying every player, any player that can contribute. Look at Dortmund, for instance. Dortmund goes to Man City's academy and they sign a 18-year-old player, 19-year-old player, and he plays in the Champions League. And that is what would make that player go to Dortmund and not stay at Man City. Because if it's the same level of expectation, you play most of the academy games and you play a couple of minutes senior team, they wouldn't leave Man City. So it's the same way, the same thing the NFF should do. And I said it, you can get me. Don't pay me any money. Don't pay me anything. Just say, This is the responsibility I've given you. I will fund my transportation. I will move myself everywhere to speak to these players myself. Don't pay me. Don't even give me any profile. Just make it legitimate that we've given you the right to speak to these players. And I will do it. And most of these players will play for Nigeria if I'm given that job to do it. But it's not my job at the moment. So NFF, this is what you should do. Speak to these players. Speak to your parents. Offer them a chance to play for the Super Eagles. And even beyond players with dual nationality, you have players like Jude Sunday. Jude Sunday is a super special player. I've been saying this for a while. If Jude Sunday was Brazilian, he would have been in Europe already. He would have been in mainstream Europe already. Ambipedo, both foot, cross with either foot, shoot with either foot. He's a special player. Special player, in my opinion. So, the NFF, this has happened. We can't control this with Libya and how they treated the Super Eagles. You can't control that. But one thing you can control is the quality of your squad. Go on and get these players in. Get Tosin in. You may not like it, but get Tosin in. He's tall, 6'5". He has the passing range. Get him in. You have Igor Ogbu. Aggressive, strong, robust, fast. Has got good passing range as well. You go and get him. He is not a dual national. He doesn't have dual nationality. He just has Nigerian nationality. Go on and get this guy. So at this point, we've come to the end of the stream. Thanks for all of you who've watched this video. Please subscribe to the channel, share the video, click notification bell as well. So when a video goes on this channel, whether a live stream or a pre-recorded video, you'll be notified and you can come watch the video. And don't forget, you can join the conversation as well. At this point, I've come to the end of the video, come to the end of the stream. Thanks for watching and do have a fantastic rest of your day.